Hello, this is Jeremy Kemp with San Jose State University's School of Library and Information Science with a 5-minute tutorial on textures and modeling. So this is our target, a real-life bench on our campus. Basically 3 pieces, 2 ends of concrete and then the metal grate in the middle. First thing I'm going to do is take a photograph straight on of that metal grate and turn it into a texture and pattern that I can use in Second Life. So I took a photograph, saved it as a JPEG, and now I'm going to bring it into Photoshop. Rotate it so that it's exactly straight on. It's not angled. And I'm going to select a portion of that photo that has the least amount of variation. It's very important how you select that photo. And I'm going to crop the image. I'm going to save my image as a 400 pixel wide, 72 dots per inch photo. You don't need too much information. This is the actual picture. I'm going to select it all and define a pattern, call it grate. Now I'm going to test out that pattern in Photoshop by filling with the pattern, and you can see I've got a little bit of problems with the alignment. Okay, so let's save that pattern as a JPEG. I'll call it bench grate. And now here we are in Second Life. I'm going to upload that image, the bench grate image, to Second Life. It's going to cost me 10 lindens, and then I'll be able to use it as a pattern to apply to the side of that bench. So let's do some modeling now. I'm going to bring out a cube primitive and extend it to the shape of the bench. Now I'm going to smash it down so that it's about the height of the bench. And finally, I'm going to raise that bench to about seat level. Okay, so that's the basic model of the bench. Now let's take a look at applying the texture, the bench grate texture that we just created in Photoshop. So go ahead and select texture for that individual side and find the bench grate texture, and I just use the search tool to find that SJSU bench grate. You can see it's a little bit distorted, so we need to resize it. We need to stretch that texture down so that it's going to look a little bit more realistic. Okay, here's the bench. Now what I'm going to do is create the sides, the 2 wedge sides in concrete. So I'm going to bring out a canister prim and cut it so that it is 1/2 of the prim. Looks just like the original bench. Now I'm going to position it on the side of the bench. Now you can do this manually, but you can also type in numbers into the edit panel. I'm going to use an existing concrete texture which is in my library under textures, building, and concrete. And there you can see we've got a nice concrete half wedge that's not aligned properly. So let's bring it in and also vertically aligned so that we've got the perfect alignment. Again, you can do this by numbers. Now what I'm going to do is select that wedge. I'm going to shift drag a copy of that wedge out so that I've got an exact duplicate that is also on the same alignment horizontally. Now I'm going to rotate that half wedge, pull my camera back, and you can see I can just automatically bring it over on alignment on the other side of the bench. But let's take a closer look at that little wedge and make sure that it's properly aligned. Okay, it looks like we've got a little bit of problems there with, tweak it a little bit, and there we are. Okay, so we've got a nice bench, but just to put a nice accent on it, let's make a shadow. So I shift dragged down the actual bench grate. I'm going to get rid of the texture. I'm going to turn that shadow black, and I'm going to bring transparency up to 75 so we've got a nice shadowy texture. Okay, here are the benches side by side. Second Life on the left, of course, Real Life on the right. And it's a pretty nice facsimile. It's about proportionate with the avatar and looks like a great place to sit. This has been Jeremy Kemp with San Jose State School of Library and Information Science. We've got a great sandbox. Stop on by.